So a thrilling super sport race, a win for Lee Johnson, a lap record for Davey Todd and a podium position for Michael Dunlop, who is such a popular rider here at the Northwest 200. Now, he was meant to be riding a Ducati in the Superbike race, but that deal fell through and it appeared as if he may not have a ride in the blue ribbon class. But at the last minute, he secured a deal with Hawk Racing.
Glenn Irwin on pole position, looking for a fifth Superbike win on the trot from Peter Hickman and Richard Cooper. That's your front row. Dean Harrison, Michael Dunlop, Davey Todd, row 2. James Hillier, Josh Brooks and Lee Johnson, row 3. John McGuinness heads off row 4. That's how they look. The sunshine is getting even more intense. Who's it going to be, though, that gets the whole shot? Look at the number 1 bike of Glenn Irwin as he blasts away and he moves himself from one side of the bike to the other to try and get himself in position. Richard Cooper gets cut off as we get to the apex of that early corner by Dean Harrison, number 5, who's slotted into second place at the moment. How close is that? Excuse me, Alistair.
Yeah,
coming through.
Richard Cooper, absolutely. Richard Cooper on the big bike. He's not normally a big bike guy around. He's only ridden the smaller ones, but he's on it.
Feet off the footrest from the man in front. Here goes Cooper. You can't stop that, surely. It's a block pass. Goes right away around the outside. Richard Cooper's a bit lively in this one. Let's take another look at this start. So, and here comes Alistair Seeley blasting down the outside. Michael Dunlop to the right of our picture. There is Peter Hickman on number 60 to the right of our picture.
Seeley really got through there, didn't he?
The wee wizard working some magic.
Yeah, absolutely did. Anyway, out in front, there it is, number 1, Glenn Irwin on the Honda.
Station corner, scary corner on a superbike, that is a fact.
Yeah, that's definitely a roll off on this one. There's some of them 6th gear, some 5th gear, but it's a roll on a superbike. But these conditions still a bit blustery, but the wind has halved what it was here Thursday night.
Warming up the track temperature as well. There's Hickman in front of Cooper now, so Hickman has gone through. Big Pete has made his way through. Here's Dean Harrison on bike number 5 at the back of this bunch.
Hickman's down the... he's crossed.
I'll tell you what, heavy fuel load, big fuel load. First time you come down to university, you try and stop that lot, and he just wanted a yard too much.
I think we'd have to edit out the language in that helmet at that point. Dean Harrison there, number 5, going through on the Dow machine. But this is going to be a race, but Peter Hickman surely can't make up any ground from way back there. He's going to have to join the back of this pack.
6 laps is a long way around this course for Superbikes, that's for sure. Davey Todd in second place, trying to close down Glenn Irwin on the brakes. Davey Todd with it all lit and jumping about, the rear end up in the air, but he manages to get it stopped. How many incidents has he had at this chicane? Davey Todd, he enjoys himself just there, there's no doubt.
He really is good on the brakes. He knows how to get that bike stopped off. Going to have a look back for Peter Hickman. Where is he coming through?
Teammates just gone through.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. What can Hickman do from way back there? But I think you're right. He just got in the slipstream, too much speed going down to the bottom as they're breaking down now into the McAvoy chicane.
Trouble is, when you're that far back, doesn't matter what you do, you're going to use up your tyres, use up your energy, but full tank caught him out down at University Corner. Meanwhile, the 2 race leaders have gone through down the main straight now, 190, 195 miles an hour down towards Metropole. Looking at Glenn Irwin, gone back to his BSB spec motorcycle. They brought one out here special for the roads, but he's reverted back to the one he loves.
Yeah, there's Dunlop going through. Just keep an eye out. There's Connor Cummins, goes Josh Brooks is in there.
Ian Hutchinson at the back of there. Bike number 4 is Hutchie. They're already through Metropole onto Church Corner we are now. That's Connor Cummins, the front of that bunch, heading up towards the seafront then for the first time.
And this is going to be an eye. It's the first time these guys have ridden properly in good conditions. I think it was reasonably dry in some of the practice sessions, but this is absolutely perfect. We're going to see, I know we're going to see lap records absolutely blasted. We saw in practice sessions that that Glenn Irwin, he was 2 seconds underneath the lap record in practice. It doesn't count, but I reckon today we're going to see it blasted.
Weather forecast is good for the entire weekend as Davey Todd takes it right out to the white line to start another lap. I've got to say, weather forecast is good. Bit of the doctor's dangle there from Glenn Irwin, and this track will rubber up if it stays dry throughout the day. More and more rubber gets put down on the racing line, gives you more grip out of a corner into a corner. Richard Cooper 47.5 is Dean Harrison on the Dow Kawasaki. Looking good. Dean Harrison, this is a good prelude to the TT for some of these guys as well. Get their brains up to speed for 200-mile-an-hour laps.
Yeah, Richard Cooper, again, we're really impressed with him. Newcomer here last time out, which was 2019. Got a 2nd place on the super stock class, on board with Alistair Seeley down the inside.
Ooh, it's going to get tight.
That's the Ducati on the outside.
Yeah, Alistair Seeley gets it done though, so the 34 bike goes through curb to curb. Now we get a bit of on board as well, up towards the Mill Road roundabout, into the braking area then. Back down the gearbox, bottom gear. God, they go. The revs just died, don't they? If it had been a two-stroke, you'd have been clutching it all the way up the street.
With the race gearbox, first gear will do 100 miles an hour. That's how low the kind of or high gearing you have to pull around here. Absolutely maximum, as fast as the bike can possibly go. We're seeing speed over 200. I think we've seen 205 miles an hour through the speed trap. Todd is closer.
He is closer. The 74 of Davey Todd. He is having a good week here in the Northwest. There's no doubt. Right out to the white line again as he flicks it through. And Davey Todd chasing down over the link. Your race leader, Glenn Irwin. Glenn Irwin's got great style. I love Glenn Irwin's style on a short circuit for sure, but on this race circuit, on a road circuit, it almost looks out of place, the amount of body work he's doing.
Todd's knee was half an inch from that curb there. Unfortunately,
Adam's gone straight on. McLean has gone straight on at University. He'll have to do a three-point turn. That'll disappoint him.
Don't go away. We'll be back after the break.
Back with your race leaders. Look at Todd, building, 200 mile an hour. Is he going to get up the inside? He's going to certainly look for it. He's good on the brakes, Davey Todd, but so is Glenn Irwin. Yeah, two Hondas.
Race of attrition again, really. Who's got some tyres left? We've got Metzler leading Dunlop at the moment. And it is going to be a 6-lap race, of course. It'll really work these tyres, not so much on the edge. We know that. It's the centre of the tyres is what heats up so much.
You mentioned it earlier, 205 mile an hour. It might have been measured at one point, but some of these bikes, because of the amount of wheel spin they're getting over the bumps, it's registering something like 208, 210 mile an hour in places.
Yeah, Paul Bird's team told me that they're geared for 208 miles an hour, but you're right, wheel spin comes into place even in dry conditions. There's just no way you can actually get every bit of grip that you would like.
Helicam then looks down, gives you a great perspective on who's doing what and where on this racetrack. It's great to watch them on the braking area. Mind you, this one, here comes Davey Todd again. He's got a good entrance onto the coast road, over Black Hill, down to the coast road we go. Now then, is he going to be able to make a pass at the chicane? He certainly looked like he was lining himself up on it on Irwin, but Irwin's got it covered.
Yeah, well, all the time, Davey Todd, who is still a youngster compared to a lot of these riders out here, sponging up all the information he can. He's following the maestro, really, the guy that's won 4 Superbike races around here, 4 Superbike races on the trot.
27 years old, Davey Todd. Motocrosser, I'm told, and pretty good at it as well. So making a name for himself. Maybe this is his year for making a name for himself, because the Northwest 200, he's looked good throughout the classes he's competing in this weekend. And I've got to say, he's taking it to Glenn Irwin. Glenn Irwin's having to work hard for this win. Yeah,
so's Richard Cooper with Dean Harrison right behind him. That's Suzuki versus Kawasaki as they head off down towards Millbank Avenue. Lovely section of course here. It really is sweeping. It's kind of a right, left, right over the top.
I tell you what, he's going to have to do a double check on his brakes when he gets to York, because if that knocked the pads back, I know it's not a modern day thing, and he's just run a little wide, and Davey Todd takes advantage of him in that slight mistake there from Glenn Irwin. Yeah. That can happen anywhere when you've got the thing aviated.
It just needed a gust of wind just as the front wheel or the bike left the ground. It landed a tiny bit crooked and he got it all stopped. But like you say, I think this will do him good actually. He's now going to have a look where his main competition's coming from. He had a good look over his shoulder. Glenn Irwin, I'm talking about, knows that there's no one really close behind him, and it's these two that it's all about.
But at the same time, it gives Davey Todd a bit of fresh air in front to see what he can do with it. Not much, it seems. The factory Honda has just gone past the Malenko Honda entered by Paget, so I've got to say that the factory Honda's looking quite sharp.
I don't know if there's a lot in it. I think, again, that was slipstreaming. You won't normally get a bike better than Paget's, as we know that, Keith, but there's not a great deal in it. It's all about the slipstream on the inside.
Yeah, he's really sharp on the inside. He's got to still make the corner, though, and he's looking really, really tight. He'll be wide out here. Glenn Irwin looking to get back round him by the time we get to the Ballysally roundabout over the link. Glenn Irwin's in the best position because he'll be on the outside. Meanwhile, battling away, Josh Brooks on the 72. Hickman's got a... his tyre's coming apart.
You see
the big chunk come off it?
I did.
Back tyre, big chunk. He'll have got to smack up the backside with that. When it lets go, it's like... well, it's got 5 kilos of tyre.
Yeah, he was coming through. In fact, I've just had word through that Hickman's broken the lap record on his climb back up to the front there. He's done a 4:18.
Watch here, Steve. You can see it going bang at the back. Look at this. He knows it because he's put his foot out, but then you can see great big black chunks of tyre coming off. Unbelievable. Delamination. He pushed so hard to get that lap record, my guess is.
A 4:18. That's 4 seconds, Keith, underneath the lap record. We knew it was going to go, but by that much, I had no idea.
Well, it's wrecked his tyre to do it, so there you go. So the Dunlop shod man is out. Peter Hickman, he'll have to look forward to the final Superbike race of the Northwest 200 later.
One thing to think about, Davey Todd is on the same tyres as Peter Hickman.
But he's been smooth and he hasn't had to work for so far back. I reckon Hickey's been pushing. Hickey's a heavier rider as well. Maybe that puts a bit more stress on the bike.
Yeah,
here's Josh Brooks on his own now. No more Hickey behind him. So Josh Brooks on the PBM Ducati. working hard. He obviously got that ride after Michael Dunlop got, well, we'll say
not
dropped.
That ride.
Yeah, not that ride. That's the right phrase. Thank you.
Okay, and that sounds so good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That big Ducati V4 Thumper. Black and yellow flag is out. This is the last lap. Is that going to affect Todd with his tyres? We'll wait and see. But at the moment, he is in second place. He's getting the run on down to the front there to Glenn Irwin.
Glenn Irwin seems to have got it covered. He's looking pretty good. But Todd's building. Can he get that frame of his tucked in behind the screen any tighter, I wonder? University corner then. This is a bottom gear left-hander on a superbike. Through here, smooth, over the link road, then onto Ballysally roundabout. That's really all hold stations until you can unleash them on the right-hander onto the main straight. Here we go, at the Ballysally roundabout. Round and round we go, second gear here. Then you're just tapping it in about now and building through this right-hander, going across the crown of the curb and down towards the grass. Now, has Davey Todd got anything in the way of a slipstream? Moving down to the first chicane. No. It's going to be Glenn Irwin that leads out of here. But as you know, Steve, plenty of other places to make that forced pass.
There's 2-3 more slipstreaming opportunities are possible.
Right, can Davey Todd do anything about Glenn Irwin? Irwin is a good man at the front. He knows how to run from the front. He's looking for his 5th consecutive Superbike race win here at the Northwest 200. Here comes Todd on the 74 machine. You can hear as soon as they get on the side of the tyre where the rolling circumference is less than the middle of the tyre, it revs up. Through goes Todd then. Glenn Irwin won't be too bothered about that because he's got a couple of other places to try and nick it back. Oh, you see the amount of inside curb he took there and really snuck the inside on the white line. Davey Todd using it all. Here comes Irwin though. On the other Honda, this is the factory Honda UK bike. He goes down the outside towards Metropole.
Yeah, is he going to get past? Because he needs to get past and across, because otherwise Davey Todd will block him out. There's no way you're going to go around the outside of Davey Todd. That is not going to happen, and he hasn't.
Was there a little bit of a lock from the rear? Well, he's cutting to the inside. Glenn Irwin cut to the inside. Davey Todd just ran a little bit wide. That could be it, but we know Davey Todd is good at the next chicane. So we wait, hold station then through Church, up under the railway bridge, up towards the Black Hill section, my favourite section of this course, onto the brand new strip of tarmac that's here. It goes a long, long way. They've spent a lot of money on making this smoother, but they haven't managed it where that bump is at the top of the hill.
Now, what can Davey Todd do here? Look at the precision so close to the curb. If he can get the slipstream now, he can get to the inside. He's got to get to the inside of Glenn Irwin.
He's not going to. Glenn Irwin is hugging that inside just a little bit. He was one side of that white line, blocking off Davey Todd's opportunity here. Well, there's one other passing play. He's not going to get it now. He's
got a tyre issue already.
Yeah.
You saw it just didn't hook up.
If he's got a tyre issue, he's managing it very well because he's pushing Glenn Irwin all the way to the end. This is the final chicane coming up. They're through Juniper, just this left-hander and then a flick to the right before the flag. To the flag then, it is the checker flag out. What a great ride from Glenn Irwin, but for my money, Davey Todd, man of that race at the moment. 74, Davey Todd, brilliant. Richard Cooper comes through in 3rd place.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's how it looks then. Glenn Irwin, Davey Todd, Richard Cooper, we'll see them on the podium. Josh Brooks gets an unexpected, I think, bearing in mind he's qualifying for 4th place. Addison Seeley and Connor Cummins are 5th and 6th.
Record for Peter Hickman.
Glenn Irwin, another Superbike win at the Northwest 200.
Yeah, that's what I come here for, but that is the hardest I've ever rode any bike around here. Fair play to Davey. When I seen someone was on me, I thought it would be Hickey and it was him, and I was talking to him earlier trying to help him for the 600 race. I thought, no, he's going to do what I told him, but a few things we can improve. Wheelie was really bad. We had some new brake pads before the race. I don't know if I glazed them, but I couldn't stop the thing wheeling at all, so perhaps glazed the rear pads on the warm-up lap. But what a race. Pace was mental.
The first rider to win 5 Superbike races in a row. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's a special feeling. It's a race, I might skip the stock race because I just want to win the big races.
When you found out that Clive Padgett built this Superbike 3 days ago and this is your first ever race on a Superbike, Davey Todd, well, that was some result.
Yeah, honestly, like I was just saying, I had a couple of days testing on it, and that's it, like literally riding around an airfield, and you know, I've got to give it all to the team for being able to build a bike like that I can literally just hop on and go, feel comfortable on straight away, and obviously go quick. So I didn't think I'd be quite up there. I knew I'd be strong in some of the other classes, Super Stock and Super Sport, but didn't think I'd be there in Superbike. But awesome battle with Glenn the whole race there. Just I think experience I got caught out with there, and you know, he's fast around here. If we're going to be up challenging anybody, it's going to be Glenn. So it was a really fun race. Hats off to the team, and we'll have a go again this afternoon.
When Hickey went straight on, it sort of left me in a nice little spot on my own to watch the leaders battle. And you know, we closed them in a little bit towards the middle part of the race there, and I was feeling pretty confident. Unfortunately, I lost my rear brake on about lap 4, and it really struggled to ride a bike without a rear brake because of the size of me. I need that to control the speed.
Philip, a great race and a 5th Superbike win in a row for Glenn Irwin. Impressive stuff.
Impressive, Stephen. It's unbelievable. Any rider, he's the first rider ever to win 5 Superbike races in a row. That's like unreal. I've been here, my mates has been here, the Dunlops have been here, we've all been here. But 5 Superbike races in a row, it's unreal. He's on a high. There's no stopping that guy today.
And lots more to come from Glenn Irwin and the rest of the riders, I'm sure.